This week on Not Just Another Sex Podcast.
I walked past the mirror and I turned myself on. It's like, okay, where are the sex toys? We about to go at it because, girl, you look good today.
Big purr.
And so that has translated into more powerful sex.
Hey, sugar. I feel like there are so many different things that I need to learn as an adult. I'm this nasty on a regular day, like on a Tuesday. I am your host, Samaya Burton, and don't worry, it's not just another sex podcast. Welcome back to Not Just Another Sex Podcast. My name is Samaya, and I am your host, and thank you so much for tuning in to another episode. Now, before we get started, I'm going to start off with a review. This one says, The Gateway to Self-Discovery from Miss Janelle. Stumbled upon Samaya from another show, and this podcast has helped me in more ways than one. Not Just Another Sex Podcast has exposed me to other shows and people that have helped me not feel alone or weird about how I am as a person. I feel that. Guests like Gigi, Dr. Tai E, Professor Odie, and Trip have been my favorites. I watch on YouTube and listen here. Yes, for the YouTube. It is monetized. Get into it. Thank you for not gatekeeping resources to help me better understand myself and the world we live in. Thank you so much for leaving that review. Thank you for telling me how you support. All of those things. You guys, if you are listening to this show and you love it, now if you hate it, I'm not even asking you to do nothing, but if you love it, if you fuck with it, please leave a review. Please rate and review the podcast. I'm getting on here and telling all my business, all the things. It costs nothing for me to share it. All I ask is that you tell somebody else about it because, one, that's how we grow. And two, when you leave those reviews, I'm reading those. And imposter syndrome is something that happens to all of us. But when you guys tap in and you're not just like, oh, this show is good, but you're being vulnerable back with me, it means more than you know. You might not think that it means too much, but for me, that is something. We're very quick to give a bad review. But when something is really great, we really hold it close to the chest. And I need us to do a little different. Tell somebody about it. Please, please, please. But thank you so much for leaving that review. I know I say this all the time, that this is going to be an amazing episode. But baby, when the show is good, then it just is. I am so excited because I have a guest today. It is Miss Necole Kane. How are you doing, sugar?
I'm good. Thank you for having me.
Thank you for coming. I'm so excited. You guys know I have brought her name up amongst so many others in my journey. And we have so much to talk about today. We catered the episode to each person. So you're going to walk through this episode with me. And this one will be a little different. I know that a lot of your episodes talk about what you've done, but I really want to focus more on where you are. It's really just introducing a whole new person, you know? And when we get to see you at the house, we get so excited. So
That's right. I met you at an event where you were like, I think Coriel's event. You were like, oh, she brought all the girls out that don't come out.
Yes, everybody was there.
Don't leave the house.
That don't leave the house. I
Exactly.
said, I know that's right. And I talked to everybody, and everybody wanted to be at home. They were like, but I had to come out. This was really important. I said, I feel that. It'd be the honesty for me. And honestly, I think that's the part when you're in these rooms, it's the people that are just being themselves. It's awkward and weird. It's just a group of weird girls in a room. And I love that because it's like, okay, so we're all this way. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. So, all right. So we start off with the adult tip of the day. The adult tip of the day. It's just a 5-minute little tidbit here because I don't know about you, but you wake up and you're like, oh, I'm the adult. If somebody passes out right now, I have to do something. I started a fire earlier. I didn't know where the fire extinguisher was. I was the adult. So this is just 5 minutes so that way you can say, I adulted today because sometimes that's all you got. So today's adult tip of the day is doing what's best for you is going to inconvenience somebody. Doing what's best for you is going to inconvenience somebody. And I do think that that's very important. So we are both in business and we're both women and we're both people. Boundaries is one huge thing, but also just being true to yourself is not always convenient, you know? And for me, getting to the best part of my life had a lot to do with understanding and accepting that me doing what's best for me is going to be inconveniencing to somebody, no matter what, no matter how much I plan it. So I would love, if you have anything to add to that, please feel free.
I don't. Not in this season. I'm sure if I was in my last season, I would probably have a lot of instances. I think for me, I just don't have a boundary problem. Never have. And
I feel that.
well, no, I won't say never had. I don't have a boundary problem right now. Like I have strong no's. I don't do what doesn't serve me. I don't people please anymore. Like, and it took me a long time to get here. So that's why I'm up here trying to forget my season of people pleasing and yes and doing things, because I remember especially back in my days when I was managing people, especially running companies, and I think I had a brand where I would hire people that were fans of mine, if that made sense. So they had a perception of who Necole Bitchy at the time was, or who Necole Kane, who owns XONecole, is, right? And so I do think I would hire people and they would be around longer than what they needed to. Like they might not have had the skill set or whatever, but because I one knew they might needed the paycheck, or two didn't want to disappoint them by being firm and firing them because you don't have the skill set.
You can't do this job.
Yeah, and what would happen is I would keep them on board for however long, and then I might pay them for 4 to 6 weeks after I let them go because I knew they needed the paycheck or whatever. They still would unfollow me from social media. They still would so why not have did that from the start? Like they would still have this perception of me that I was a bad person. So I might as well have just did it.
Keisha Cole said I should have cheated, and I feel like that applies to so many different things. I should have.
Exactly. And so I just learned that it's gonna inconvenience people no matter what. You're gonna upset people no matter what. So you have to look out for you first, or because I don't want to upset myself.
Facts.
I don't want to abandon myself. And so I'm just rooted in that now. Like, does this take me farther away from who I'm trying to be? Yes, it does. Because I'm trying to please you, and that doesn't make sense for me.
I feel that. You guys, if you're not necessarily managing people or you're not running a business, this is still applicable to you. And honestly, a different life on the other side of that is just like small little changes. And so a couple of things I wrote down was taking space for yourself, your mental. A lot of times that is not planned. Your body tells you when you wake up, not today. So even if you're on the other side of someone inconveniencing you, ask yourself, did that decision make more sense for them? Because that's not something you can really be mad at. It is inconvenient sometimes when your body tells you need to take a pause, you know? Changing careers is mad inconvenient. It's going to piss off somebody. I know that when I switched from Sexual Essentials to the media group, I got a couple of comments like, do you feel like the people that, you know, that followed you feel abandoned? And I said, there's no way you could feel that. There can't be any way that you feel that, because at the end of the day, if this is not helping me survive anymore, there's no way that you want me to do this instead and live on a box in the street. There's no way that's what you want for me. You don't want me to do something that's not good for me anymore. You don't want me to do something that I might have already done. All of those resources are still available. I didn't take them away or snatch them. It's just, I don't want to beat a dead horse. If the time has passed, and also if this is going off of income, I'm moving because y'all moved, like, you know? And so sometimes it's inconvenient, but I'm not leaving anything behind. I'm growing, you know? Starting over is inconvenient if you've been in a long relationship. I've been married. And so that was pretty inconvenient. Now he left me. I ain't gonna lie to you. He left me. But we just weren't working, period. We kept trying. That was something that was just inconvenient for everybody, even how long it took for him to really acknowledge, I can't get with it, you know? It was, there's that. And then also changing your mind. Sometimes you can say yes to something and you realize, like, I might have said yes to this. Maybe I said yes too fast. But yeah, I really mean no. I don't want to do that anymore. And I appreciate when people tell me that. And because at the end of the day, I need you to be the most comfortable. I don't want you to resent me for something. And at the end of the day, if this wasn't for you, then that's not what I need from you anyway. You know, so that is the adult tip of the day. Doing what's best for you is going to inconvenience somebody.
Yeah, I just want to add, if anyone, like when people reach out to ask you for a favor or to do something, you don't have to return the text immediately. You don't have to return the email immediately. Like, sit on it for a second.
Absolutely.
Or just be honest and say, hey, you know, I may need a moment to, or I used to say, I'll see what I can do, but I felt like that was a catch-all. And I felt like when people started being like, if I hear her say, I'll see what I can do, it really means no.
It does. It does.
Because I used to be like, I'll see what I can do. No, it really enough. Meant, it's enough. I'll see what I can do is enough. So.
And see, I've realized I'm a very honest person. And so I will tell you no, but I also will explain why. You don't want me to ever do something for you that I don't really believe that you earned or that we're not really aligned for. And that doesn't mean no forever. But if I've worked a lot to get what I have now. And I can't tell the universe, I can't tell God that I want more. And I don't have the boundaries to say that this doesn't really seem like alignment. But because they asked, I'm just going to say yes. Why give me more? Because you don't really, you don't care.
Yeah.
Like I'm not.
I try to keep myself from being in a position where people put me on the spot, Yeah. And the type of text that come like, hey.
Yeah, right now? Oh, today? Oh, I'm sorry. I can't help you. Because that's crazy. You asked me today. No. It has to literally be like, just no. It's just easier that way. Just no.
You're like, no.
No. I have learned, and I tell people that, though, give yourself a second. Even if it's something you want to do, just take a second before you respond so you can think about all the things. Make sure that you're ready to even capitalize off the opportunity, because sometimes you'll say yes to something and you're not prepared. So now you're going to do this interview for somebody or going to do this.
Absolutely.
Your business card is not new.
Absolutely.
Like, they digital these days. But
sometimes, even with interviews, sometimes I might not even be in a mind frame. Like, we were supposed to do this interview right as the new year started.
I'm glad we didn't.
And I knew that I just had so much going on mentally. I was like, I'm not going to be able to give an impactful interview in this mind state. You know what I mean? So being mature enough to say, I might have scheduled this and say yes before, but things have changed.
Yeah. And I tell people all the time, and I really am a reassuring person. I'm like, you're not going to hurt my feelings. The only thing that hurts my feelings is when people are rude to me. Because how you treat me and how you talk to me has nothing to do with what's best for you. Yeah. And I tell people all the time, own your decision. If it's not best for you, I don't want you to do it for me, because this is my platform and I want a hell of an episode. Sure. And I'm so glad that we did wait. And when I am given a no, there is a little bit of peace in no now. I will say that. And I don't like being told no. I like having my way. But I've learned that it's either something better, something more aligned, or it's just going to be much better when it does come along.
For sure.
And it always is. Yes. All right. So we're going to move on to Twitter Talk. Twitter Talk is really to pay homage to Black Twitter, because Black Twitter is a thing that don't even have anything to do with Twitter anymore. It's really the culture and the fact that when we add our little sauce on there, everything is better. Award shows are funnier and terrible things are more hilarious, but also it'd be random facts. And you'd be like, wait, did you know? Now, you do got to Google some of that stuff. But for the most part, the culture is everything. So today I wanted to ask, what are 3 things that you love about yourself? Before you start, I want to ask because what I've learned just listening to some of your other interviews, and really just when you have a past, everybody will introduce you so many different ways. And a lot of times we're described by our career. And I do understand after you graduate to a certain point why that's really not applicable, because what I do and who I am are 2 different things. And I really do. At first I'd be like, I just want to know what you do. Just tell me. But I get it now. Like, who I am and how I support my lifestyle are still 2 different things. And you have changed so much. And so I think it's just easier for me to find out what are 3 things that you love about yourself as well. Because when you compliment women, or even on shows, people are like, I loved this. And then you're like,
yeah,
okay. And it doesn't mean that people can't take a compliment, but sometimes people are shy. And also, when people give you compliments, it's what they emphasize about you. And I'm usually interested, like, what's your thing for you? So I would love to know, what are 3 things that you love about yourself?
3 things I love about myself.
Yes.
I definitely have fallen in love with myself over the last year or 2. And I will say, through my dating situations, I feel like when you date people, it's the opportunity for you to get a reflection of yourself. Like, you collide with the weakest parts of yourself, but I've been discovering so many aspects of myself I never knew, because I was always career oriented. I definitely love that even though I'm a woman who lost her parents, lost all of her grandparents, I still maneuver the world with a positive mindset versus a victim mentality. Like, why me?
Yeah.
I do still feel like I'm the chosen one of God's favorites. even though he's taken these different things out of my life, whether it's my parents, my grandparents' side. I just said on a podcast recently, I realized last year for Christmas was my first Christmas with a family, which was my makeup artist. She invited me over for Christmas, and I had been saying the entire year, this is the year I'm going to spend Christmas with someone. I thought it was going to be a man. And God was like, you kept asking. You want specific.
We got you. We got you.
And so I spent Christmas with my makeup artist and her family. She has 4 kids and extended family.
You did
her
all
mom,
the things.
Yeah, you know. And I literally started crying in her living room. Like, it was so overwhelming for me because it had been 20 years since I had spent Christmas with anyone. I'm normally alone on Christmas.
Yeah.
And so just seeing like the hand that I've been dealt, but being able to still be positive and optimistic and pour into others, as though I've been full all my life. I think that's one of the most favorite things about myself. I do love, I feel like I'm a great friend. I've missed my sister's wedding. I missed one of my best friend's weddings before. I've missed births of babies. And I'm in a season where I'm able to show up for my friends in a way that I never was able to before. And so that's why I keep saying I like this new version of me, right? Yeah. She's so full. She's able to pour into people. And she's just very optimistic. And I feel whatever I desire, I can have. Like, I feel like I don't lack for anything.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, I think that's only 2, right?
That's 2. I'll let you think on it. If you're not ready for the next one, I want to share some of mine too.
I just think God has, like, you get to a space in your life where you're like, God, why don't I have the family yet? The child, the husband, the dream home. And I'm in this space in my life now where I understand why I didn't get it prior to this season of my life. And it all makes sense. And I know when it happens, because I know it's going to happen, it's going to be so magical. But it's so many lessons I had to learn and to become who I am. So the last thing I love about myself is just my becoming.
Okay. I like that. I love that for you. Let me see. I probably should have wrote mine down before I was planning.
Because it is a hard exercise.
It is. Mm-hmm. I can also talk to, I guess, my like tenacity and my zest for life and how many times I'm willing to start over.
Yeah.
I do love that. I think I'm a very organized, exciting young woman. And I think it comes from a similar place of, despite all of these things, for some reason, it's just the cup is always half full to me. And sometimes it would agitate me, but it's like, do you really want to be the other way? And it's like, no, I don't. I used to have an issue with some of my Aries qualities because they're more childlike. And now I've learned that sometimes, like, even when looking at my kids have a certain light. They have a certain level of annoyance, but they damn sure have a light. And I can appreciate that, just being born as one. And I love the fact that I am not afraid to do the things that I love. I love to skate. And baby, there have not been bigger bruises on my body. I stay on the ground. I can't hit the tricks. I've been a beginner for like 3 years. But I would go out there and I would skate my ass off.
Was it you that I text? Did I text you or I said to you randomly, do you have a scar on your knee?
No, but I have been asked that. I do have the scar. That 90s scar.
All black girls. Y'all,
I have one on this
if you're
knee
watching
right
this and you're a black woman,
check your knee.
I'm sure you have a scar on your knee. I think we got stamped. We all got stamped.
I was definitely an outside
as we
girly.
dropped into the universe.
Yes, I have the scar. And I just love doing things even if I'm not good at them. I love enjoying things. You know, I love my zest for pleasure. Yeah. I do. I love my zest for pleasure. I love the fact I don't shy away from pleasure because I don't think many people understand what it takes to sit in things that feel good.
can we talk about pleasure?
Absolutely.
Can we just stop there? Because I want to talk about pleasure just for a second.
Absolutely. Come on, run your show.
No,
you know how these Virgo women are. Like, come on.
No, seriously.
No, seriously, go ahead.
Because it's been a conversation I've been having over the last few days. And I think that's why I enjoy my life so much, because I prioritize my pleasure. And pleasure for me, it doesn't, like, when people hear pleasure, they think of sex almost immediately.
Right.
But for me, like, I was just telling a male friend, I was like, when I'm in the shower and I'm using my exfoliating,
your loofah and all that, yes.
Right. And then I'm putting on my glow oil after I get out. Like, I take a very long time in the shower. So if you ever date me, you're going to get annoyed. But the whole experience is so pleasurable for me.
Yeah.
The type of music I listen to throughout the day, allowing myself to eat chocolate, to eat dessert, like
and fruit snacks.
Fruit snacks. I try to stay in the feel good area of my life as long as I can each day. And I think sometimes we forget that. Like, when I used to, run a company and I was competing as a bodybuilder, think about it. I didn't have any pleasure in my life, especially competing. I'm not eating any foods so much discipline. Mm-hmm. So my life was surrounded by discipline. The time I woke up in the morning to the time I went to bed and the foods in between, and nothing was enjoyable.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so, I think that's why I have such a love for my life now, because I'm allowing myself pleasure. And half the time, like Black women, we feel like we have to earn it. So, we have to work a certain amount of hours before we earn a night out with our girls or earn a vacation.
You know who broke me of that?
Who?
Indefinite honeymoon. Amira Cook.
Oh, wow.
Amira Cook. Because, baby, she'd be like, you know what? I counted 3 pages today, and I'm just going to go ahead and take the day off.
Exactly.
And I was like... I know that's right. Like, she needs no excuses.
Yeah,
so
no excuse for the nap, no excuse for an extra hour of sleep in the morning. Like,
when I tell you, I love seeing myself in other women and watching the little quirks that we have, and I have lunch dishes, like just dishes that I like for my lunch and things like that. And she's the type of person that's like, oh yeah, this goes, like, I have aesthetics for my life. Like, I like when things look good and they feel good all the time. I love my favorite things. I don't do anything that's not my favorite.
That part.
I don't. And people are like, why do you listen to this every day? I love this song. And I'm a grown up. Exactly. I can do it. Yep. I can put it on repeat. You don't have to even ride in this car. You can get your headphones. Why do you eat the same thing every day? This is my favorite food. Yeah, why do you eat turkey necks so much, Smile? Because I love them. Like, when I don't mind a solo vacation because I get to do all my favorite things. If I go to a restaurant and I like it, I can go back twice.
Exactly.
Like, I love, and I know a lot of people are like, how do you do so many things on your own? That's the time where you can be as selfish as you want to.
Listen.
And I love that. I do. Sitting in pleasure is something that I realize the destination doesn't have a lot of pleasure in it, but the doing it, the process.
Exactly. The process.
Because
half the time you get to the destination and be like, hold on.
Ain't shit changed. Nothing has changed.
I'll be looking around like, this don't look like it did online. The destination.
Who all over there?
Right. You get to it reminds me because, a destination for me was getting a business acquired. And you get there and you're like, what?
Y'all didn't mention this. Y'all didn't mention this.
This is not what I thought it would be. So we have to live in the process. And even now in relationships, I used to be so dead set when I'm dating someone on where's this going? Where are we going to end up? Mm-hmm. Where are you leading me? And now
to hell. No.
And now I'm being able to sit in the moments that we share together and actually enjoy people for the connection and the moments we spend. But not only that, but what I'm learning about myself in the process.
Absolutely. You're getting to experience yourself again. And I think that
in new ways.
And that's when you're like, damn, I'm kind of cool. Like, I'm kind of that girl.
Absolutely.
Get into it.
It gets to a point where you start being like, whether you end up liking me or not, I like me. I love me.
We're gonna come back to that.
Yeah.
Because I have some thoughts on it, but I do want to catch everyone up. So you guys, this is Necole.
Wait,
Oh, where we go?
Really the official start. This is the
topic.
official start of the episode.
Yes, we got to have a little foreplay. Okay,
she's actually introducing me.
Yes, actually introduce. It's all right because I know folks be like, "Oh my gosh," I'm like, it's girl time. It's whoever's on this couch is just our time, and then others are just. They get a chance to watch and tune in. And I don't want people to feel like they have to be somebody here. Whatever you want to talk about, let me know. Like, this is your time. This is for you to give you your flowers. And to, like the review said, to introduce them to other resources and understand what's possible. When I first found out about Necole, I was more so in the bushes as a stalker. JK, because, these days. But I followed her journey for a long time. If you guys don't know, she... founded multiple companies, Necole Bitchy being one of them, like one of the original Shade Room blogger girls. She created XONecole, which is this illustrious, young, vibrant version to me of an essence, just if you're not sure of what's going on, but XONecole. And then that company was acquired by Will Packer. And if you don't even understand to the capacity of how amazing that is, someone acquiring something that has your name in it is wild. Because the first thing they're going to tell you when you get that name, you sure you don't want to change it to something else and things like that. And it's still running, without her. She went through a transformational period where she uprooted. And mind you, with Necole Bitchy, she just shut it down. Okay? She shut it down and started over. So if you guys have not seen Girls Trip, that Queen Latifah T, that's in there, that Queen Latifah role, it was giving that, right? Will Packer. You see all the dots connecting? We always bring it back. And then she got into bikini competitions, and now she owns this company called MyHappyFlo. And I want to bring it all together, but with time. And she's pivoted as many times as she's needed to. And for me, you guys know my story. I did not have that example, and a lot of people were not being so vulnerable to share their mistakes, where they were fucking up, where they were lacking, what they missed. Oh, I focused on success. Now, where's my man? Like, y'all told me to do this. Where's that at? Like, where? Yeah, I have confusion. I don't want to be in the spotlight anymore. And I love the authenticity. And the woman in me just says, thanks for doing it,
Thank you.
And I know that there are a lot of things that this path can cost you when you're of service to others. And you've been of service for so many years. So I want this episode to be more about who you are now versus all that. You guys can Google her and find out the things that she's done. The accolades are there. But changing as a person is just as powerful as changing in your career because the whole trajectory changes. And so many things. But I want to start off by asking about regulated nervous systems. And one of the biggest things about me being present where I am now, I lied. I said that wrong. One of the biggest things about me being able to sit in pleasure was about me being able to be present. And a lot of times, all I can do is speak for Black women. It's because our nervous system is not regulated. We are always living in the past of what has happened or worried about what's coming up. And I didn't realize how contradictory that was to my faith and me trusting that actually doesn't have alignment. It's water and oil. So I wanted to ask you, explain to me what your nervous system was like. And explain to me what it's like now,
What it was like when I...
you can share, you've had 1,000 lives. We can pick number 42.
1,000 of them.
Yeah. What was the time that was bad?
I don't know if I'm speaking to my nervous system, but I don't feel like I was connected to my body for a long time.
That's real.
Like I, especially say even in Necole Bitchy days, running around as a gossip blogger with a bunch of celebrities, the hotels, the flights, and in fight or flight for most of that period of time. And I only say that now because, now I feel very connected to my body. I know if something isn't right. I know I better go get that blood work. Something's going on.
Yeah.
I even with my menstrual cycle, symptoms and those type of things, I know when I'm around somebody or someone asks me a question and it's just not in alignment. Right. Yeah. So I know when to say no. Right. So yeah, when we talk about regulated nervous systems, it's wild because especially as Black women, I think a lot of our dysregulation comes from overworking, overachieving, having no boundaries.
Yes.
The boundaries is huge.
The boundaries is huge.
It's a
yes
huge
and no.
one.
Yes.
Yeah. And that leads to dysregulated nervous system, also leads to hormonal imbalances, which also leads to our reproductive conditions. And you see how
it's all connected.
It's all connected.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's what I would like to. Yeah. I have such a calm, regulated system right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One of the things for me, having money at one point in time was my first introduction to being able to really explore a relaxed nervous system. And it wasn't intentional. It just was my path because things had always worked out for me in the way that things were. But when I came into, you're making five figures a month and things like that, you're able to get access to different things I wasn't before. So a lot of people think that's like, oh, Gucci bag, this and that. Baby, where is this house cleaner? Like, let me tell you, you can be having the worst day ever, but you walk into that house and forget that the cleaning lady there and everything in a better place than what you would have even put it. Everything just moves better. You wetter and you don't even know why. Why? Because your house is clean. It's clean.
My nervous system won't allow my maid to be in my house without me yet. Okay. So how about that? Let's start there.
Okay, when she's done.
Look, I'll be sitting right there as her partner clean, but I haven't gotten to that place yet.
I miss you, Miss Alba. I miss you.
But yeah, outsource. I mean, you're talking about outsourcing.
But it was my first introduction to I don't have to do everything.
Yeah, I don't have to do the laundry. I can outsource that. I don't have to
schedule.
Go to the grocery store. I can Instacart.
Ooh, that's my one right there.
Like I could be out and be doing something else and I come home and my groceries sitting right at the door for where someone else did the grocery shopping for me.
Yes.
Yeah. So
there's that. There's boundaries around the work schedule. Like, you know what?
Boundaries
is
huge.
Not answering things right away. That's a huge one for me now. Like my phone is generally on silent. Or
mine's regulated nervous system. The do not disturb.
I love that.
The do not disturb. And they have now on the iPhone where you can, when you turn on focus, it can make all of your text messages outside of the pinned ones disappear.
Yeah, so you can't even check in.
So you don't even see your text messages until you turn it off.
Oh, yes. Because,
just seeing all those messages.
You let me respond. If it's out of sight, out of mind.
Out of sight, out of mind.
So it's little things like that make a difference. And I wish I had not come into some of those practices at a time where I was making a larger sum of money. And I say that because when my lifestyle changed and I started over again, that takes a lot of resources. Yeah. Converting back to that type of lifestyle, I knew too much, so I'm like, okay, hold on. There was a level of peace that came with this comfort. And I know that doesn't just exist around money. It also starts with you. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Absolutely. What are you? And people may be like, well, I don't have the money for a clean. I don't have it. You cannot clean your house every single day. You do not need a full clean every single day. You know how it is though. You walk around your house and you clean something every single day. But like little things or a big one for me was going to sleep with the dishes dirty. That used to be a very difficult one for me because if I'm too tired or it's just me. It's just me. And so sometimes, girl, just go to sleep. Just go to sleep.
Yeah, absolutely.
And, just start the morning and I end up using that morning the next morning to get in my music, my meditation, something. And now I'm cleaning and the sun is up and I'm able to look outside. Yeah, absolutely. And just doing what my body needs at that time. Like really acknowledging that was really huge for me, regulating my nervous system. What type of symptoms did you see in yourself that you feel like you've maybe cured? Do you think, like for me, anxiety and PTSD was one, and I'll share after you share, but do you feel that there are maybe some bad habits that you might have picked up from working that you feel like you've actively tackled now? I know that you've shared on your story about why we sleep, different story, like different books that you use. Like you do have a lot of resources when it comes to the body of a woman. Yeah.
I mean, for me, it's just about having slow mornings. Like I think a lot of people are guilty of waking up, rolling over and getting right on their phone, checking the emails. Like you haven't eaten yet. You haven't put the blinds up, fixed the bed, took a shower. like you just gave your day away just that quick by just plugging in. And for me, it's about pouring into myself before I pour into other people. And so I do value slow mornings. I get up, like I said, I put the blinds up. I might drink tea, take a shower, like eat breakfast before I'm plugging in, because once you've answered one email, it's a wrap. It's a wrap. Once once you checked in to what Instagram is doing or what Twitter is doing, you just gave your whole day away, and you shifted the energy of your day as well.
You know what I found is that a lot of times when we'll say we want something, I don't know if you've ever felt this way. We'll say, I want this and I want that and I want that, and then when you have the opportunity to do it, you don't. You know, and so I know a lot of people are like, I want to have a slow morning. I want to just have some hobbies. I want to just do this. You ain't joined a club. You ain't went to the YMCA. Yeah. You haven't done anything. And, you've lived all these different lives. And now you and your retired. Mm-hmm. It's giving retired,
yeah,
right?
It's giving retired.
I want to know more about these hobbies, honey. What you be doing?
Honestly, in the season I'm in now, and I know it's not going to be like that next season. In the season I'm in now, probably only work 1 to 2 hours a day. But it's because of the systems I was able to put in place in my business the last 2 or 3 years that allowed me that opportunity. And so I'm like, well, what am I going to fill my days with? And honestly, I made that space because I knew I wanted a family, and I knew I wanted a partner or a husband, if that... some people be like, why did they say partner? Because I value partnership. Some people are married.
I've had a husband. And partnership is what I'm going for this time. I promise you.
Partnership, you know. And so I had to create space in my life for that versus, okay, I'm going to work hard and grind it out. And then if someone comes along, I'm going to try to work them into what I have going on. No, I'm going to create space for them right now. Mm-hmm. And so that's the season I'm in. And I have so much time that, like, I have joined a tennis clinic. I do tennis 4 days a week. I joined a golf organization, so I am learning golf. I am just spending my time. Again, it's about how can I stay in that feel good throughout the day? Yeah. How long can I stay in that feel good? And if I can spend 50% of my day and feel good, I'm winning. I'm winning.
It's so crazy because at this point, how do I word this? In the past, days were so hard that now it's so hard for me to have a bad day. I will have a bad day, and I know it's a bad day, but for me, it's still so much better than what it used to be.
Oh man, because I want to say this too. It's very hard for me to sit on this podcast and talk about, I only work 1 hour a day. I'm playing tennis and golf. Because a lot of my identity is tied to struggle and the trauma I've experienced. It was. And so I felt that made me more relatable. Like, I go out into the world and I share this depressing thing that has happened in my business, or I share about my parents dying, or I share that, holidays are lonely. I'm sorry. I'm not close with my family. And so those things I felt gets a lot of commentary because there's someone out there that it helps. But I made it my identity almost. And it was hard for me to break out of. First of all, it was hard for me to go into a season where I did feel happy. And I did feel free after so many years of not feeling free. And then it's hard for me to share it right now. That's probably why I don't post on social media anymore. It's like, this isn't relatable.
And you know what's crazy is that us as women, we're all trying to get out of this thing where we're swimming in our struggle.
Right. Yeah.
And it's so, this episode was difficult for me to figure out what to talk about because I also want to be a part of giving women an opportunity to just tell the good without thinking that we have to tell the bad that you fuck with me.
Exactly.
Because at the end of the day, if that's the case, then I'm not for you, period, because I just want to see you do good. I'm so glad that you're happy. And at the end of the day, there are 1,000 interviews of you out there telling all that sad shit. And
it's 1,000 interviews of me crying throughout the episode. I just cried on an interview before this one. So
we still fresh. So, we got time. But
Yeah.
I am in that space. And that's why I wanted to add even this. And I know you guys haven't actually caught up because I do bulk record time, right? I do bulk record. So you guys are just now getting the new episodes that I actually recorded in 2024. Most of the episodes that came out during 2024, I recorded last year.
Yeah.
But I went through a major cycle of change of me relinquishing fear. And a lot of the fear was also attached to the past. And so it's just not who I was anymore. And understanding I can't go where I'm saying exist if I don't let go of some of these things.
Absolutely.
I'm leading with my story as if I'm not that girl without it. I've earned that. And I deserve that. I deserve to go in a room and not have to mention molestation daddy.
Yeah.
I've earned it. You know,
yeah.
I deserve to, you know, even the night that I met you. And this is always a thing that I'm a breadcrumb girl. When you struggling and you like, I'm knock all this shit over, you know, God is in your breadcrumb. Like, all right, relax. It's all going good. And that's how I felt the day that I met you. I had been trying to find her all this time. And I'm talking about running in circles where I should have bumped into you. You know what I'm saying? I had got a check from her and still had never met her, right? You know, all the girls got their story about where they blogged somewhere for. You know, it was a great entryway for so many beginners, all those things. But it was in a season where I didn't have the money to go and support a friend. She needed me to go to another state. I did not have it. I was just living in the van, and I wasn't calling it van life then. I was just living in the van. Like, you know, I hadn't aestheticed it all together yet. And I was like, well, I don't know if I should go to Coriel's thing. I got $12 in my account. But my clothes are so nice and fancy, and people are going to think I got it, and I don't want nobody to think that I got it. Why are you all these thoughts about them? But you need to go dress up. You need to go throw that shit on. You need to get outside. My friend was like, girl, I will come over there and do it. Like, Couture, get this face together in a second. Are you going outside? Yes, you do. You need to go outside.
Yeah.
And in that was me saying, I don't have to sit in what's going on. I still deserve good things. I don't have to tell anybody that there's $12 in my bag.
Yeah,
like
absolutely.
in the YSL. Like, you know, but everybody has these things. I realized once you go through life, you realize everybody has their thing. Why do you want them to look bad doing it?
Yeah.
Some people just feel better when you look like you're struggling. I'm fine. No matter how much I struggle, this is what you gonna get. Now, my edges wasn't on earlier. You saw me then, but
you're so silly.
They on now.
You know what?
I know I'm acting different once I throw them edges on.
And I think that's what I'm struggling with. Like, I'm struggling with wanting to celebrate this season of my life that I feel I earned and deserve after so many hard seasons of my life. But I don't want to come across as bragging, but you're only bragging to people
that are jealous.
Exactly. Like, if you're sharing wins, you're only going to come across as bragging to people who
hating, who's jealous, who don't understand, who haven't looked up the backstory. And we deserve more than that.
And again, I think we should be able to celebrate our wins without having to say, like, I'm about to start my newsletter back up after 3 years, a 3-year break. And I do want to share the update and where I am currently in my life. But I feel like to share the good thing, I have to take them back to the times where stuff wasn't amazing. Like, I had a really hard last 2 to 3 years, right? This year is my breakthrough year. It's like, thank God. God, what were you trying to do these last few years? You really took me through some stuff. But it again, I'm only bringing it up because I do think it's sad that in order for us to share a win, sometimes we have to share the losses that led us up to the win, just for people to appreciate, where we are in this season.
I do think that, but you know what I realized? I don't want to be that. You know, that old basketball player that be like, yeah, back in my day, I used to. And I was like, damn, that's how I feel talking about sexual essentials sometimes. Like, it used to be this, and then I lost my Instagram page and all these things because I want people to know that I did something, that I earned to be here, and that I'm not just another podcast. See what I did there? Not just another podcast. I'm not. I think I'm so witty. That's what I should have put on my list about what I love about myself. Anyways, I want to share those things, but I realize I'm living in the past, and maybe because I'm fearful that that's the height, that's as far as I can go. And even now I'm in a gray area with the podcast because last year I told everything. I told the stuff that happened, with my parents, how I was dealing with it. So all my resources of how I got through. This year, we've talked a lot about our healing journeys and so many avenues of hypnotherapy and spirituality and meditation and y'all know anything I can try, I done did to get my peace. And over explaining myself no longer gives me peace.
Yeah.
And I'm grateful for that. But I realized I had to find another way. I have to find another way. And I don't know if I've settled on the exact way that I can continue to help people, but I don't think that I have to help people just from my pain. Exploring pleasure is something that I really enjoy, and not just the intimacy part.
Yeah.
Really experiencing pleasure, and it doesn't start with money. It's the little things that you do now. And I'm realizing that because now, I'm not saying I've healed completely from everything, but I'm not in that space anymore. I've gotten help. I've had wins. I chose to start over. Nothing was taken from me. I chose to start a new vision over. And so now there are a new level of difficulties. These are difficulties that I chose.
Yeah.
That's
absolutely.
a different level of pain. When you can blame it on, oh, well, daddy did this and mom didn't do anything about it. You have the outlet to be strong. But what about when you chose that shit? You chose to invest all your motherfucking savings into this content house. You decided to do it, Soraya. You wanted this mic. You didn't want the other one.
Let me tell you, exactly. That's why even with this new brand, I'm like, you can't run a product-based business and not run into 6-7 figure debt real quick, because you got to pay for product up front. Look, and I'm still smiling and happy with that 6-figure, 7-figure debt mountain by the day, because I know there's going to be a win on the other side.
Absolutely.
And that's the thing. I feel like it's a lot of this is mindset. And if you know there's a win on the other side, you gonna do the things. You invested all your money into this content house because you know a win is on the other side. You can't even be doubtful about that win. You got to know for sure.
You know the truth. And I had to accept this one day. I said, even if it never did these things, right? If I was never back on the first class flights and just super flexible with the money and, having my 2 days a week to work, even if none of that came back, I know I would still do this because it gives me peace. I feel it being overused is something that you don't want when you don't have boundaries. But now that I have boundaries, being underused is something that doesn't fulfill my spirit.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so I want to know, you started over from Necole Bitchy. Mm-hmm. You started over XONecole. Mm-hmm. And then your crazy self did it again. And you started over and again of service to others. So why did you start over again?
Honestly, my last business wasn't supposed to be something I did alone. I wanted a friend to come along for the ride, and I over romanticized what that would look like. Like, I was like, man, me and her are going to be on covers of magazines together. Like, I found it was almost like sharing a spotlight with someone, something we could do together. And I was in this person's wedding and everything. But long story short, it didn't work out. And I knew for a fact I did not want to run another business by myself. I launched MyHappyFlo because it was something that Black women needed, because of the racial disparities in healthcare. And 80% of us will have fibroids by the age of 50. Yeah. So that's a solid epidemic, 60% before the age of 35. And so for me, when I'm looking at a healthcare system that's just pushing women on birth control or telling them to get hysterectomies, there's a problem here. And I knew I had a solution to solve it, but I wasn't credentialed. And I will say this, God doesn't call the qualified. He qualifies the call.
Every time.
So you just gotta be ready when he calls you. And I felt like he called me to do this. And so that's why I started over and launched a new company, MyHappyFlo. But again, I wasn't supposed to do this alone. I was adamant about I did not want to run another company by myself. Like, I had goals. I wanted to be married. I wanted to have kids. I was tired of putting everything into my career and it not giving back to me when it came to my personal life. Everybody wants companionship. And I'm like, this isn't balanced. This isn't what I signed up for. But also when God gives you a vision, it doesn't mean for you to go and pull everybody else into that's your dream, not theirs. And that's the hard lesson I had to learn very quickly in this, because I'm not gonna lie, when I first launched MyHappyFlo, I was trying to give equity away to anybody that would you're OBGYN, come join the company. I give you equity. Anybody that could just because I did not want to run this thing alone.
Yeah.
So I was about to have 60, 70, 80% of my company gone from the start, because I was so adamant that I felt this calling was just too big for me to undertake. It was so big that it scared me. And I already knew it was difficult for me to date and find a partner. But with this calling, God, you really think I'm going to find my person with this calling? You done picked the wrong girl. I know you got something else in them cards, because this is too
reshuffle them. Yeah.
Exactly. And so, yeah, it's very interesting. I saw how things were going, and like I said, it was a partnership breakup between me and a great friend of mine, and it killed our friendship as well. But I just saw how God was moving, and I had to just surrender and be like, He is not going to give me this gift, this formula, this brand, this name. I love this MyHappyFlo, the vision, the whole thing. He gave it me all on a platter.
And then you got to go execute.
And not take care of me on the other side. And so this year, I finally got to a place where I'm trusting what He got coming when it comes to all areas. My career, my personal life is going to blow my mind. And that's because I was obedient and I surrendered. And now I'm not looking like every day, the time is going by. What's happening? I'm like, I know you got me. And I've leaned into that. And the anxiety that goes away when you know that. I'm at peace, because I finally am trusting God has me on the other side.
I feel that. I feel the exact same way. I was very comfortable. I was comfortable. And, I was comfortable because I had reached the peak that I could see for myself. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And I realize now when people say, well, where do you see this going? I know what I see this becoming, but I have no idea where it's going, because what I realize is that I can only dream to the capacity of what's in my mind.
Yeah.
And there are so many more things that I have never seen. And, I'm watching myself be nurtured by God and by the universe, because I'm a both, by the ancestors. And I'm watching what it feels like to be remembered, for someone to listen to me, because the way things are showing up, they're so intricate and detailed that I'm like, you heard me.
Yep.
I have power, right? I'm manifesting these things to the point that I switched over similarly to you. I had never picked up a camera. And I started a media group.
Yeah.
There are people that are, I'm talking about seamless on the camera, like editing years, and they still are, you know what I'm saying? The life of a creative is difficult.
It is.
And when I saw this house, I just was looking for a place that I could rent out the other side so I could do my podcast, because I'm a real estate girly for sure. And I saw this house, and a flash of the most vivid place, where creatives could come and they have a space, and the creatives need help. The creatives are not supported. And it's like, Black women needed help. We are not being supported. They are throwing you on birth control. And even this emotional regulation that we talk about, there are women that have periods that are just fine that I know take the HappyFlo pills, MyHappyFlo, because they're like, it helps me not be a, Godzilla when my period come on. And people think that's a fake thing. You guys, it's like having the hormones of a teenage boy, going through menopause, and then just crying. That's sometimes what your period could feel like. You could literally feel like, I don't want to do this no more. You check the fucking calendar. You be like, oh, damn, okay.
I know, right? Yeah. Because the hormone cycle is real.
Oh, my gosh. Yeah. I have literally on days been like, I don't know what's wrong. I don't know if I can do this anymore, because the stress mixed with the hormones, and nobody has cared enough. They haven't cared enough to the point that even with tampons and pads, they had never tested them with women.
Yeah. Or real blood.
just juice. Just Capri Sun juice on your pads and wondering why.
Real blood.
Yeah, because nobody wants to wear a pad because it's just going to sit on top of the thing.
I mean, women didn't show up in clinical trials until, 1993?
So how you testing stuff on periods?
Yeah, like, have y'all tested ibuprofen, the long-term effects on women?
Taking it every day for you're not even supposed to take medication for more than 5 days.
Crazy.
Like you take,
and people popping them by the hour
because their periods are legit crazy. So I felt like in this field, what was given to me was that I saw that the creatives were not able to do what they were supposed to do. The chosen ones were not able to flourish because so many people were taking advantage of, I'll do it for exposure and stuff like that. And so I wanted to create a space where I catered to the creatives, and I started over here and I didn't feel qualified. And it's one of those things where I have to keep telling myself that I asked for something. I've always been of service, but I wanted to create something that had boundaries in it. And the way that my life is shaping up now, I told God years ago, I said, I know that when I meet some of these people, I know I'm in the right place. And now here we are. And I'm like, God, you're so funny, because they cut off my gas yesterday. And I was like, I started a fire in the kitchen today. Lord. I said, you know what? But I remember what I said. I said, I'm having the conversations that I said I would have. I know I'm doing what I'm supposed to do, because this one was just showed up and we were there. So there are different breadcrumbs that life gives you to let you know you're on the right path.
I will say you have to go through a seat. Like there are people who have a hard time sitting with themselves. Yeah. And when I say sitting with, do you enjoy your own company? Because that's when God is the loudest to me. When I'm alone, people come to my house, they're like, girl, you don't turn on the TV in here? No, sometimes I'm just sitting in silence. I don't got the TV on. I don't have a music playing, and I'm just sitting with myself. That's when I hear him the loudest. That's when I hear the next steps I should be doing. Yeah. That's when a download will come. I have to write it down. Wait, here's the idea. The weekend that I came up with the idea for MyHappyFlo, I kept seeing angel numbers everywhere. And I remember being with a friend. We were coming from dinner, and I said, do you mind if we stop to the store so I can get a notepad? Because I was like, I'm about to spend a whole day in my house in silence and see what comes to me, because the angel numbers were crazy. Yeah. And that day, it came to me that this idea for MyHappyFlo, the supplement, the name came. The name was Your Happy Flow. But I wanted to be more affirming, and that's how it got switched to my. Like, it's yours, your happy flow. But yeah, in those moments, I'm sure when your idea for this came, it was a moment. I don't,
Yeah, downloads come in, and that's one of my things, because I have to tell somebody immediately, and I have to get it out. And I've had to learn that also. Sometimes it's not meant for you to share yet. That's another.
Sometimes, because people can sway
how you feel
about it, the direction, how you go. They start bringing in all the is this too big of a? How much is this going to cost? Do you have the capacity?
If I had answered any of those questions, I wouldn't have done it.
Yeah.
If I answered any of those questions, I wouldn't have done it. And it's the purpose. I want people to understand that I promise you, whatever the fuck you're looking for starts at being comfortable with you. Because once you're comfortable with you and you're being you, then your purpose can find you. It's everything that you want is looking for you. Yeah. But a lot of times we're not even looking for ourselves. We're looking for everything else. We're looking for somebody to sit with us. We're looking for somebody to come with us. We're looking for somebody to, whatever it is you want to do.
Travel with us, go on a vacation
everything.
With us. Yeah.
Anything. Like, I have to date myself. And I tell people all the time, especially as a polyamorous woman, you're polyamorous too. Your first relationship has to be with you. And I take it just as serious as every other one. I take my relationship with my friendships just as serious as the everybody else. Like, all the things you asking for, are you ready? Have you even proven that you can do it? And will you do it alone? Or are you only looking to do it in certain circumstances, right?
And are you only willing to do it if you're getting the applause of people around you? You have to do it without looking for the validation. It always used to be so important to me to make these top lists, this under that, 30 under 30, 40 under 40, or top 30 of this and that. And it's like, are you really, you're doing it for the applause and not because that's what your soul wants to do. That's what you were called to do. And I had to get out of looking for that type of validation and that applause on social media.
I had to, with Sexual Essentials, since we're going down memory lane, it was the first time that I felt so empowered that I could create something so huge. And it's kind of like one of those things, like when you introduce yourself and people, like I said, will compliment you on something. Sexual Essentials wasn't difficult. It was my natural talents. It was something that was always in me. Sex was an avenue that I had always been open with exploring because I'd never wanted my pleasure to be taken away because someone took pleasure from me. And so I was very adamant about making sure that my pleasure was my own. Making sure that my pleasure was my own. So it was something I was comfortable with. Seeing this, something that I'm not comfortable with, and accepting that I can be whatever the fuck I decide to be. Like it's giving, I can't be what I want to be.
You know what?
Like that's what it's giving. Like these songs start making a little sense.
It's
like
not-
living in I'm living in my childish era of like, oh, let's create this. Let's turn on these lights. Let's do this. Oh my gosh, let's create a cooking show. And I get to do that. And I did not feel qualified to do so because there are a lot of executive producers that are just money out here, right?
Yeah.
They're just money. They've never touched camp. They ain't been on set, but they put the money, so they put their name on the screen.
Yeah.
I felt embarrassed to say, oh, well, I funded this. People would come in and say, I thought the videographer owned the space. No, you can do whatever you want. Now I'm learning how to edit. Now I'm learning how to take pictures and just giving myself the permission to start over and still be excellent at the same time. And it's so different to be handed a purpose that has nothing. And that's the thing. Your assignment sometimes don't have shit to do with you. Sexual Essentials was beautiful. It was something that boosted my confidence. It was something I knew how to do good. And it was like, okay, so you know how to do all those things. All right, now here is the assignment. Take all that shit, move it over here. And the empowerment, the confidence that I feel, and the humbleness. And I don't want to use the word humble because I forgot. When you Google that shit, it's not a good definition.
You sound like Felicia Hatcher. Her name is.
Yes, from the interview you did. Did you do?
Yeah. But
yes.
But she talks about like.
Yeah, it's not a good word. I forget. I should have looked it up, but it's not a good word, so I don't want to use that one. Being careful with my words. But the feeling you feel when you just lean into what's been given to you, only way that can even happen is if you make space to hear yourself. So you gotta be alone because you can't hear your intuition. Like, you can't. I do want to know, what are some things that made you great at business that you actually had to change to welcome and start inviting this new life that you see for yourself?
I guess I need an example.
For sure. You talked about how you make space. You're making space for your love. He's on his way, right? What are you doing? And what are you cleaning up that maybe now being in control of your business is amazing because there's so many different things, right? Being in control at home, maybe not so much.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Being able to receive. I know that in my business, I've always been a giver. I love to give things away, which is why I had to have some really good boundaries so I could be aligned to the people that I'm supposed to give this support to, right? I had to realize though, being a giver at work didn't necessarily make me the best receiver.
Yeah.
And why would a man that's been dreaming about loving a woman want to love on me if I never want to receive anything?
Yeah. I mean, that was one of the bigger ones, I think. I know people don't like to hear about masculine and femininity, but just when you're leading for so long, and I probably did have control issues. And most people who have control issues is because they never really felt safe.
Yes.
Being brought up or controlling allows them to feel like they're in control, right?
When you're not.
Right. And so I do think I might have had control issues in almost every area of my life. Like, planning. If I'm ever going on a girls trip, I'm going to do the planning. Okay. Right? Making sure we do and now in this season, I'm just a lot more soft and a lot more. Someone can plan something for me or take me out on a date, and I'm not asking a million questions like where we going, what we eating, what kind of food is going to be there.
Tell me how I need to dress.
I'm going to trust that, I'm dating people that I trust their lead. And so I don't have to, I'm going to trust they're going to pick a restaurant that I like. I'm going to trust that, I'm just trusting where they lead me. And I don't think I was coachable before. I wasn't a person that could be coached properly or led anywhere. And so I think that's been the biggest difference in my personal life with where I am now versus before.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I think for me being yes, go
and
ahead.
I was about to say I just love it here. Like I love being a pampered princess.
That's right. I know that's right.
I love being a pampered princess. I deserve this life. But
I've earned this life.
I've earned this life. Like I'm not glorifying struggling anymore.
Yeah.
And so it's gotten to the point. I was having a conversation with one of my guy friends the other day, and I remember saying to him, you know, when I first met you, I was challenged because I didn't know how I added value to your life. Because
he didn't need you.
A lot of my self-worth has been wrapped up in what I can do for people and how needed I was. And now I'm dating someone, and like they were planning all the dates and doing all the things, and I wanted to go, well, can I cook for you? Can I invite you over? Can I clean up? Like, can I come to your house and do your laundry? Like, how
do I show up?
I remember, and I said to him, I said, you know, because if you're not useful, you're useless. Mm-hmm. And I've been sitting here, you know, it's been a year of on and off with you, and I'm still struggling, trying to figure out how I add value. And it's crazy that all of my self-worth again was wrapped up in how much value I can bring to people's lives, how much they needed me. And even at my old company, XONecole, there were times I could have really hired some really amazing talent to come in and help us grow with that brand. Yeah. But I was scared to be replaceable. Because again, all of my self-worth was wrapped up in how needed I was and being needed and being hard to replace. And I can admit that now. It's years later, but I would have never admitted it back then.
There's a grief that comes with changing your personality and it being something that everyone wants, and then you deciding to be someone different, and you're like, wait, do they still need this person? But, you know, I absolutely resonate with that. I want to know so you've talked about your examples for love that, you know, creating images like just in your mind of what you've seen and visions being given to you. I want to know, one, what was your example of love growing up? And yeah. But I want to know how creating that fantasy life, because let me go back. ADHD happening. I think I could say it better. I think being raised a certain way and deciding that I'm not going to live that way can make certain, especially children, create fantasies, and it helps us escape. And it's usually your safety net. It's, I know that daydreaming and being somewhere else, literally astral projecting into another space, has saved my life. You know, that I still have my light, and I'm so grateful for that. But fantasizing and astral projecting about people that are not who they are, like you're romanticizing this image of what you think love is and things like that. And I know that we do a disadvantage to the men, and especially, you know, our men, the Black men in our community, when we already decide that they're for us, or decide like, this is who I'm going to have them be, versus give them the space to be themselves. And so I would love for you to talk to some of the things that you had to change about your fantasy about love, because you had to create your own, right? And what you've learned through having these different friendships and dating, and, you know, because I think you're the dating guru, girl. She needs to do it down there tip, but look here, she is this is how you go through dates, like, just as executive as she was about business. I feel like she's taking control of saying, you know what, I'm available to love, and this is how I'm, you know, you have an approach to it. But I know that probably requires some change, because I know it did on my part. And so I would love to know what things you had to adjust in the fantasy to make them people.
Yeah. I think I originally thought that, like, if the person is right for you, you'll know from like the moment y'all meet, like instant. I thought the spark was love, but sparks only last a second.
Sparks be like your coochie. Yeah, spark is really your coochie.
Only lasts a second. They're not sustain a flame.
A good little flame.
Yeah, but a spark, it lasts a second. It's chemistry. It's fast. you know, it's love bombing. It's, you know, in the
All the
moment it
types of
feels
things.
good. Like your vagina is pulsing, all that, right?
She's fucking with him, girl. She fucking with him, sis.
Right, but that's not sustainable. I had to learn that's not sustainable. And love, it's a variety of things. Like there has to be alignment. There has to be a attraction, but timing is a huge thing.
Girl, let me
Being in the right moments of your life when you both can accept love in. You know, sometimes you date people. I've dated people I was building and I had 10% emotional availability, as this guy recently told me. He's like, when we dated, you know, when I was getting to know you years ago, your emotional availability was at 10%.
Damn, I love his honesty.
I love his honesty.
Tell me.
And so it has to be about the right alignment and timing. And timing is the one thing we forget to surrender to. And so now I'm in this place where when I'm dating people, just allowing them to show up naturally in who they are. Again, not putting this romanticized image and version of them, and then having resentment when they're not showing up as the person I romanticize them to be. When they're I'm resenting you for showing up for who you really are.
Yeah.
And I had to learn that. And also stay in the present moment. Sometimes I would date people and I would be far in the future. Like, where's this headed? Where's it going? Like, you know what I mean? Versus so far in the future that I can't even appreciate this date, this here moment, this connection we have, this special memory that we're making right now. And so I think that's what I've learned in this new season of dating. Like, finding my soulmate is going to be all about building a friendship and a solid foundation. And it might not take a few weeks. It might take a few years. And I have to learn to push past the hard with people. Like, I used to be a honeymoon jumper. I love that first 4 to 6 week of every dating situation. So
you exactly who I need you to be for these 4 to 6 weeks.
After that 6 week mark, and they start like, you know, pulling back just a little. Oh, this isn't it for me anymore. And I go chase the next honeymoon stage. And then that 6 week mark, 4 to 6 week mark, they start just pulling back a little or doing whatever or showing up.
Look here, I don't even think that's just you. I'm not gonna lie to you. That's a Virgo thing in there.
It is.
It is, because they don't be wanting to commit.
But at the end of the day, you don't learn. You don't learn real relationship skills there. There's no way you can.
No way.
Yeah, and so now I'm in a situation where I love to see people from for all 4 seasons, because we all have different seasons. Who I was 2 seasons ago, I'm a different person today.
Whole nother girl.
Like, you know, we went on a date 3 months ago. You're gonna have to redate me because I'm a different girl.
Yeah.
And so being able to give people the grace to change throughout their different seasons has been the biggest lesson I've learned in this new season of my dating life. And I think I saw a quote where it was like, when you have a long-term love, you're going to see them go through 1,000 rebirths.
Yeah.
You might attend 1,000 funerals of who they used to be, because we're always evolving. And so that's going to take staying in it.
So you're going to have to stay past 6 weeks.
Yes.
Past 6 weeks.
Got to get into the imperfect stage.
Now, I am not a couples goals girl at all. I admire Amira and her husband, because her husband charges her up to be exactly who she is. And she will recreate her personality and be like, you know what? I'm writing a book. I got a new writing job. So she'll get new glasses, go get a new journal. And she's like, this is my new writing area for this project. Yeah. And I relate to that because I am I'm going to go get a teapot because we said we wanted to go have tea. I have a basket for my picnics. Like, I'm that person. I love the aesthetic, the little things. They matter so much to me. But I love that he encourages her to doing it. Like, he's ready to just meet the new her all the time. And I'm like, you know what? I can ask for that, especially because I know that I change. It's like 9 personalities. I don't know which one you're going to get. But I want to be that for somebody as well. And I've also learned to let men know when I'm not good at something. And if you can teach me, like, just giving them permission to let me know what you need. Like, I definitely have to talk to somebody that's going to talk to me. Like,
yeah,
you know, you got to have your boundaries together too. But I did romanticize what I thought love was, because I knew I didn't want what I saw at home, you know, and I knew I wanted something different. And I realized it didn't have no flaws in it at one point. It was just like, oh, this is real romance, like romanticizing. It had no bad things in it. And it was like, okay, that's not real. And I ended up romanticizing what it was that I was fearing, which was safety, protection. And I married someone who was very safe and very protective, and he didn't like me. So it was like I missed all these things, you know what I'm saying? And so really becoming whole, and really becoming whole, I think, changed a lot of things for me, because I realized I didn't want as much from a partner as I thought I did. I wanted more partnership than, oh, I need this from them and that from them. I need the friendship.
yeah.
I realized that my friendships stand the test of time. They do amazing. And it's like, what is it about when you add these rose-colored glasses that make women go crazy? And it's just like, I don't want to be that anymore. And so, you know, similar to you, I've been on this journey by myself for a while. And it's just experiencing more of who I am and dating myself. I realize I don't need nobody to jump necessarily through hoops for me. I want to do that. And that gives me space to let them be who they are. What type of husband did you dream about being? What type of, you know, like give them space to just be and decide what I like about them, what I don't. It's a lot of decisions I can't say about my partner, because technically each person is different. And the qualities aren't always like quantifiable to me. It's more so like a feeling. I want to feel safe. I want to feel, you know, I don't have a list right now, but yeah.
I've definitely, what's really changed or shifted my dating life is me. First of all, I used to talk about having needs met. I don't call them needs anymore. I call them desires.
I feel that.
And then I have learned to express my desires out loud, because people can't read your mind. Sometimes we're very passive in the way we go about getting things versus just saying out loud, I would love to do this.
Another Virgo thing.
Yeah.
I was like,
yeah, like I notice now when I express my desires out loud,
you get it.
people meet them. They just need to know how to love you. Like we can't think they just come with an instruction manual to how we like to be loved.
Yeah. These are the facts. And what's crazy is I feel like when you are alone, all you're doing is writing your instruction manual on what you like and you don't like.
Yeah,
if you can't tell me what your favorite things are,
Exactly.
when I tell you, my friends love on me so good, but also they see me do the same shit every day. Oh my gosh, you got me a gift card to Jeju. Well, you go all the times. Yeah. Clearly you like it. You know, you like flat. Like, people are going to mirror how you treat yourself.
Exactly.
You know?
And sometimes you have to, I'm realizing when it comes to love languages, a lot of times people are doing things for people that they want done for them. So you have to kind of see how people move. Like if someone's giving you a gift card to your favorite spa, it's like, wait, they might actually want someone to do something like that for them. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So a lot of times when people aren't saying their love languages outside, just observing them and how they show up for you is probably how they would want that love reciprocated.
I do feel like the next phase of things for me, like outside of the friendship, is just getting to know, just like how I know that I am so worthy of love. I don't have to perform for it and things like that. And that was a journey for me figuring that out, and being loved in spite of so many ways that I didn't even love myself before. But men go through that same thing too. And really just being a safe place for me to understand that, because I require grace as well. Sometimes I'm triggered. Sometimes I'm brought back to places, and I do need support to get through those times. That's why I need you to also be a friend, because sometimes you can't support me as a lover. Sometimes you have to support me as my friend. Sometimes what I feel doesn't make sense, you know? And so saving space for them when they feel things that don't make sense. And a lot of times I think women, our standards are much higher than sometimes like men, but I desire to not love a man like my son, but to give him the same grace that I would expect someone to give him.
I desire to be a man's safe space, because I know especially Black men, they don't have a lot of safe spaces. They don't have a lot of spaces where they can show up and be authentically who they are. You know, they spend a lot of time trying to be less intimidating if they're in white spaces, like dressing the part, not wearing a hoodie, like those type of things. So when he comes home, I want this to be his safe space. Like, he don't have to perform for my love. My love is not conditional and based on the amount of dinners he takes me out to, or the bags and the clothes and the shoes. Because a lot of people find value in that, being flashy, right? Because they want the girl, but that makes her love conditional.
Because when that stuff go away,
it's like, right, the trips go away and all that. Then it's like, does she still love you when all of that is taken away? And I want to love someone unconditionally. You know what? Definitely want to love someone unconditionally. And that takes really peeling back the surface and you guys getting to know each other, like deep intimacy, not physical intimacy, emotional intimacy. Yeah. There's a book, The 7 Levels of Intimacy. It's almost one of my favorite books because it really walks you through the levels of deep intimacy. And a lot of us only stop at level 1 and 2, which is like, level 1 of intimacy is if I said, Samaya, how was your day today? Oh, like, girl, it was good. Girl. But you ain't giving me no extra detail, right? But in level 2, if I asked you, how was your day? You might feel a little bit more safer to start giving me a little bit more detail about your day. And it just trickles down from there. By the time you get to level 7, you've expressed needs, wants, fears, and those type of things.
Yeah. That's a whole nother conversation for a whole nother day. It's so many pins in here. I'm just introducing her. We're going to speak it into existence. She's coming back.
We're about to do a 6-part series.
Look here. People come back and sit on these couches all the time because it's just like, I can't give you all who. There'll be some amazing people on these couches. And also it gives you an opportunity to go dig into them on your own and, things like that. It's just, we just got to come back and do another one. Because we do got to do a work one. But that one just going to be all work that day. Right now, we just chilling. All right. So we are going to move into the sex tip of the day. Okay. The sex tip of the day is similar to the adult tip of the day, where we are just able to pay homage to Sexual Essentials, what really got me started on all these things. A lot of people don't know that SE, Something Extraordinary, media group, content house, and all of that is the same SE from Sexual Essentials, because to me, Sexual Essentials was something extraordinary, despite who believed it was or wasn't. And, in this world, sometimes, your business name is a difficulty. The name Sexual Essentials gave me hell. So I knew my next business could not say Sexual Essentials, but I did keep the SE because it was something extraordinary. So I'm grateful for that vision. And so we always do a tip about the body. All right. You hit on this earlier about being in your body sexually. And actually, I apologize, I said it incorrectly. You were talking about being present in your body. And ironically, the sex tip of the day is about even just being present in your body when it comes to sex. Wanting to know, what is your relationship like with solo sex? We've talked about what your relationship is like with yourself and getting to know yourself and things like that. But I would love to know if you'd like to share what that's like for you, or just even what it felt like becoming into your body. I know when I started feeling things, it was so amazing because I used to have numbness and I didn't even know. Like for me, my nipples were not able to feel stimulation. Wow, it was a long time. And a lot of people like, oh, when you have kids and you breastfeed. No, this was already like that. And I didn't understand the power of healing until that showed up. It finally showed up actually in my body, and my body feeling safer to show up for me intimately. And that was just a process in itself. But I would love to know, what that looks like for you.
First of all, I don't think I enjoyed sex until probably 4 years ago or whatever. And it's just because my sexual trauma always showed up. So it was always awkward to me. I felt nasty. I just felt like something for the man's pleasure, not mine. And just very disconnected from, I remember a guy described it back in 2021. After our first time having sex together, he just was like, it felt like you had a moment where you left your body and you were looking at yourself and judging yourself. Like it was, like he felt that. Like he wanted to talk about it afterwards.
Are you okay, girl? Did I do something that you weren't okay with?
I will say, just loving to learning to love my body and learning to experiment with sex toys and solo sex, as you said, First of all, I think falling in love with your body is huge. I walk past the mirror and I turn myself on. Sorry.
Talk about no
sorry.
there.
How about I say this over? I walk past the mirror and I turn myself on. It's like, okay, where the sex toys? We about to go at it because, girl, you look good today.
Big fire.
And so that has translated into more powerful sex when it comes to sex with men. And I no longer, and it all depends too on who the man is. So he has to,
For sure. For sure.
yeah, it definitely depends on who the man is. But to now have sex and that trauma not show up, and me being in my body and me being present and me being able to, I've heard it described before as, you know, you can have a whole conversation with me through sex. I love being that in tune that you feel me. You feel what I'm trying to say.
You know, I'm sorry, babe.
You know what I mean? Exactly. I'm glad you hear me and feel me right now.
Yes.
And so, yeah, I'm very, I think I would describe myself as a sexual person now and very in tune with my sensuality, and just very comfortable with that aspect of myself. And that only happened through solo sex. Look how powerful it is when you having a day and you can just go and get yourself. I never had an orgasm before I had solo sex. Now I can have an orgasm with or without you. Right. And I can have it during penetration with a man because I know my body enough now that, look, that's all you got to do. Just stay still for a second. I'm gonna get there.
Don't even. I'm gonna get there. Don't even worry.
And I feel like it's so empowering when that happens.
Absolutely.
That you can do that for yourself.
Absolutely.
Because there's a lot of people out here that have never had an orgasm before, have had kids and never felt the orgasm before. And
I built a whole business off of it.
Exactly.
A whole business, a whole 6-figure business off of it. Like, because
absolutely. Yeah.
That is so inquisitive. And if you're asking yourself, have you ever had an orgasm? If you're not sure, the answer is no.
No, because baby, you gonna know.
You gonna know. You're going to know. I tell people all the time, it's just as aggressive as taking a shit on yourself. You're going to know. You're gonna be like, you're gonna know. I'm sorry. It's the only example that I have, but y'all know what I'm talking about. So we can just go past the awkwardness and just, you know what I'm talking about. I always have to try to control my face when I always ask people, what's your relationship like with your solo sex? Because one, I immediately want to respond. And then two, I've learned it goes one of two ways. When you do have sexual trauma, you either hate it or you love it.
Yeah. I mean, I'm sure the first few times of having solo sex, you think your ancestors looking down on you and judging you. You're looking at the ceiling like,
don't look at me right now. I feel watched.
Yeah, I feel very watched, and maybe I'm judging myself.
You know what's wild? I'm a little bit of an exhibitionist. I don't think I mind being watched. You like that? Wow.
Exactly.
Like, give me a mirror. Like, let's record it. All the things. I don't mind being watched. I have found that despite me understanding that two people, and because I don't need love to be present. You know what? That's a lie. Care and a love, but not necessarily romantic love. I've realized that it's not a chemistry. It's a connection for me.
Yeah.
And I've realized that you could, just like you can connect with someone just for work, or you can connect with someone like this person shows up for this. I have found, and it's few and far in between, that there are ways to connect with other people despite, and it's like, it's respected. It's something you guys decide to do. It's a healing thing. Like, I dated a guy and I was able to heal through sex with him.
Absolutely. Now, I think that is totally, I'm healing through
that thing.
Sex with the right men.
Yeah. And it's not something that's owed or anything like that. But when you are with someone that genuinely cares about you, they have no ulterior motives of like, I'm going to get this and I'm going to be gone. It's something y'all both decided to do because you felt that it was the right time and y'all connect. No matter what happens, I'm saying that if it's safe, it's safe. You know what I mean? Like, even the care, like, even men that I've had sex with in the past, when I run across them, they are gentle with me.
Yeah, absolutely.
You have to have sex with someone that actually likes you.
Especially after you start having sex with yourself, like, because it got to be better than the sex with myself.
And let's be very clear. There's not a lot of things that are better than the sex with myself.
So.
It's not.
So now my body repulses anyone that's just out for themselves and they just want a quick hit and get, like, no.
Yeah. No, it's enough for me. And I learned that a big part of
especially Honey the Rose.
Girl,
baby,
you know what? I pulled you out a little toy. I did. It's sitting on the island when you leave. Because I'm just like, I wonder what toys she be using. I said, you know what? I'm just pull it out anyway for it. Just a little. My very first article, the check that I got from y'all was how to make Can Every Woman Squirt. That was my first article that I got paid for, writing for XONecole. And if you are a person that's trying to figure out, I don't know how to masturbate, or even if you think that you know how to masturbate, you ain't never masturbated like me. So please make sure that you join the Patreon, because everything that I've ever done with Sexual Essentials is there. There are over 200, there's like 300 classes. I'm talking of like so many things. There's a foreplay and vaginal orgasm class on there. Oh my gosh, that's a good one. How to use toys, so many conversations, how to do ass play, how to get started, like all the things. Like, even if you're not doing ass play by yourself during your solo sex, you're missing out. Missing out. So go home, try something, put something in you, figure it out. All right. You guys can click the link below for that. And then before I let you get up out of here, we have to have our spiritual tip of the day. Okay. Which is, another tip, just a little bit. Spirituality can be very intimidating, but for me, it was an avenue to healing. Religion was not enough for me. And to me, spirituality is an umbrella. And I believe that religion falls up under it, but it's all the mystical things, all the things I cannot see. And that's my ancestors. That's, my spirit guides. That's all the things, and I think that a lot of people push it away or don't accept it in, which really, that hurts, that sucks. But they push it away because they don't understand. And when things are over, exaggerated online, and girl, I'm like that because I'm an Aries, or because I'm a Gemini, then people don't want to hear that shit because you fucked it up, And so it's oversaturated, and I just want to just kind of slow it down and just introduce you guys to something each episode, so that way you can look it up for you. And don't worry, eat the meat, spit the bones. If it doesn't work for you, that's fine. Like, what resonates for you will be for you, and that's just you strengthening your own intuition. So yeah. But you talked about on an interview you did before, you talked about an energy pendulum, and I paused it there because I was like, oh my gosh, I've never actually heard of someone having one. So if you, I want you to do the spiritual tip of the day. Yes, just tell us what the energy pendulum is, and it's a simple thing, but it's a way that you've been able to. Well,
first I want to perfect. What is it called?
Preface, yes.
Preface. Is that how you say it? Preface.
You asking me?
I want to preface, if that's how you say it. I want to lead into this by saying, I do go and get my energy healed. And chakra balancing. Is that how you say it? Chakra.
Yes.
Chakra balance every 2 weeks.
Okay.
That's my healing. Like being able to make sure that energy that's stuck in my body is able to like be moved around, and that's how I stay creative. That's how I go into dating situations with a clear head and clear mind. If not, I would be a hot mess. So I'd say do what works for you, but I probably, when you're getting chakra balance and they hold a pendulum over you, each chakra, just to see if it's open or closed. If it spins clockwise, then that means it's open. Or it could spin counterclockwise as well. But if it just sits still, stays still, that chakra is blocked.
Okay.
The energy of it is blocked. And it's so interesting that, like, I brought my own pendulum. So at home, sometimes I'd be like, is my throat open? Because I ain't expressing myself the way I should be.
Baby, like, did you check your throat today?
Right.
Is your throat open?
And so, like, I literally, before my sessions, can see where they might hold it over, like, my throat that day, and it would just stay still, and it would make so much sense because I couldn't express myself well that week. And by the end of the session, you'll see when they hold it back over, and it's spinning the way it should be.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's why I have a pendulum, just to always check to make sure my chakras are open and balanced, or if they need some work. Especially, I think it's the sacral chakra that where your energy, your creativity. Okay. And I got to make sure, like, I always have that open so I can continue to keep creating in this life. But yeah, so that's That's what I'm into. I know, some Christians side eye that type of stuff.
This ain't even their place, but
yeah. But I'm team whatever you need to do to be your best self. Do that.
Absolutely.
I still go to church. I still read the Bible. I still listen to my sermons. I still pray to God and believe in God. I still talk to God.
Yeah.
But
all the things, but that for me, the thing is that he created all these things, these avenues. And what I tell people all the time is that if your story for Christianity or religion doesn't work on me, but my thoughts on what I accept can work on you, then yours is coming from a place of privilege. You've never had to use the tools that I've used.
Yeah.
And if it's a person that has come from a place you haven't went through what I done went through, don't tell me that what
Absolutely.
I need. You can't. Especially when the deacons of the church, the ones fondling the kids, but that's a whole nother day.
Whole nother day.
Don't do that. But I'm grateful for the resources that God created for me and the way that he's guided me to them, because it was like, you need more answers. And everybody don't need those answers. Nobody's pushing anything on you. It's just being open. Some of us can't figure out, why am I not happy? Yeah. What does happy feel like? Does it exist, or this is enough? And so you're settling because you've never actually felt peace. I still feel pain. I still feel happiness. If anything, more now, because I'm totally open to feeling. But it was through avenues of spirituality and tools. Those are tools and resources. They're not praising anything. It's literally numerology at this point. Like, it's the same thing that tells you when a hurricane coming, you don't tell the weatherman like, that ain't what God said. You get the fuck out. Like, you know? And so it's the exact same thing. But also I think there are so many different ways to get to your energy being clear, right? One of them being this one that you shared about the energy pendulum. Acupuncture is another way where you can go and get that same release. Sometimes I know some people go there because they can't cry. And sometimes you need to cry, you know? If you've ever stretched or done yoga and you get around to moving your hip flexors and things like that, as a woman, even as a man, you sometimes find you sit in it long enough, you will just start crying. Energy can be stored. Energy is neither created, nor destroyed, it's simply transferred. And so, and what I really do love, and I do have to bring it home, is that with MyHappyFlo as a woman, it's a way for you to balance your energy. And as women, we can be very ruthless with our mouth. I mean, gangster cusser, gangster energy. When we in that mode and Godzilla has come out, I think that having something to support your menstrual cycle when your emotions go up and down is really important. But I'm also grateful for like following the moon. What is the moon doing today? Like when I'm feeling crazy, where's the moon? Oh, the moon in Gemini. That's why I'm feeling like, I don't know, I'm Jekyll Hyde, like, things like that. So spirituality can give you answers about what's going on around you if you're a person that needs them. If you don't, lucky you. But I need all the tea. So I have to give you your flowers and thank you so much for being who you are. I know that you've stated like, I did all these things and I've worked these businesses and I followed the path. And, there are certain things that you thought would be there at the end of that path and you're not on the end. And I'm just grateful that you took those paths because you've affected and you've made change. Because not seeing you do some of the things you've done, not seeing you start over, I don't know if I would be doing this because I didn't know it was possible. I don't know if I would be here without a mirror buying 14 teacups to fit her personality and being who she is. I don't know if I would be here if you had not messed up and told us about it, started over and not trusted your own intuition. So I do appreciate you. And I'm just so grateful that you continue to show up. And I know you say that you're hidden, but you're not. You're not.
I am, but I'm about to come back out.
I know that's right.
I'm gonna slide back out through newsletters first.
You said podcast. I love it.
Newsletters.
You said you heard her say the word
newsletters.
Whenever it comes,
we'll just take these newsletters and these links. That's about it.
That's all I got for y'all right now.
That's all you got.
Look here, even through all the ways that you are preserving your peace and enjoying it and swimming in it, you share so many gems on your Instagram page, and you're sharing so much with us through MyHappyFlo. So, you guys, please check that out. The link will be below. I don't know if they have an affiliate link, but I need to go sign up if so. So we need to put that there. But please tell the folks where they can find you.
Yes.
And yeah.
You can find me at Hello Necole across all platforms, HELLONECOLE. And also, if you are a woman who have heavy periods, irregular periods, PCOS, to any type of period complications. PMS. Definitely look into MyHappyFlo. We are an all natural plant-based supplement that is helping women experience pain-free periods and balance hormones.
Yes, I love the reviews when you post them. That is one of my. I love hearing people's reviews because
the reviews are amazing.
They be running up they be telling their business. They like, look, this ain't work like this, and now we did this, and I'm like, I know that's right. So, thank you for the work that you do. And you know, I can't wait for you to come back, sit on the couch, and we talk about something different. You know,
absolutely.
So, I love you guys. Please make sure that you check out my van vlog. The link is below. I Am Home is out. Make sure that you follow the van page. It is the Charlie Van Cafe. And you can see, you know, my whole wilderness side of things. And, you know, I'm just telling the story of how I'm balancing, you know, producing, camping, being a mom, and doing all this stuff, and just really figuring it out as I go. So I appreciate you guys for listening, making a safe space. Please make sure that you know, click all the links and stuff that I put below. There's something down there. I love y'all. See you next week. Bye.
Bye.